Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Deano Show. If you are new here, my name is Griffin Dean. Happy to have you all here along for the ride. Today we got a new guest. Shout out to Wesley Meyers. At least that's what I know him as. I understand some of you might know him as the Jam Karaoke Guy. But yeah, this was a great conversation. It was cool to talk to someone who's also at the beginning of their journey, beginning of starting something new in their life, putting themselves out there, going after what feels right to them, make their dreams a reality. So it was a great conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you're new here, hop on the rocket ship. We're going to the moon. Share this video, like this video, hit subscribe, and enjoy the show. All right. You wrote a song, a single that you haven't yet released. You just told me it was after a night out. And I heard it on TikTok, and it was something that definitely inspired me. The lyrics were about chasing dreams and kind of making your dream life happen, just starting. And lyrics that stuck out to me from that song were, is it me that's between what makes memories out of dreams? Talk to me about that and kind of talk to me about that song and yeah, what it is you're trying to do.
Yeah. So I mean, like my whole life I've always loved music and always kind of, have that dream in the back of your head of like how cool it'd be to do music as a career. But it's wasn't exactly something I was actively pursuing. Never really thought, that it's something that I could make happen. So I kind of just felt like I was giving up before even trying in a way. And, just kind of realized, life's kind of too short to do that. You never know. I mean, anybody who's made it, who's like achieved a dream, has done it because they took a chance, and that would have never happened if they didn't try. So yeah, I was kind of just like home one night and stayed up pretty late and was just kind of thinking about it. So I decided to just kind of start writing down some stuff, playing some chords, and yeah, just kind of feeling like the only thing holding me back from at least trying was myself, like being too scared to even try. And kind of just got to a point where it felt like, would you rather regret trying and failing or regret not trying at all? Obviously, you don't want to regret not trying something at all. So kind of just capturing that feeling and trying to make it into a song.
Yeah, that's exactly what pretty much what happened to me. I would just like go to bed at night and just look at my ceiling and be like, I have this passion for talking to people, making YouTube videos, yet I'm, like you said, giving up before even trying. I'm just self beating myself up and just like living like a pretty bad lifestyle in a way. Like you're just constantly beating yourself up when you haven't even tried. You have to give yourself a chance. And like I said on this before, like I know my first couple episodes aren't that good. The first couple songs, the first couple chords, whatever, when you start at something aren't going to be like your best. But everyone, every great guitarist, every great YouTuber, business person, everyone has started at sucking and started from zero and started from nothing. But it was just the constant, this is a part of the story. And that's going to be a pretty badass story one day when it all makes sense to look back on. I mean, hopefully, and be like, yeah, like, you know what? I turned nothing into something. Music, I've played guitar. Like my dad has a guitar and I play that guitar every now and then. And it's something I've tried to get into the last couple weeks, couple months in the summer. And it's fun. Like I enjoy playing guitar. I like it because it works the left side of your brain almost. Like I have my left hand on top, my right hand down below, and I'm like looking at where I got to put my pointer finger, my ring finger, and it's a fun brain exercise for sure. And it's relaxing. The first song I tried to learn was Stairway to Heaven. I still kind of got it. I haven't played it in a while. And then I got into Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. So yeah, it's fun and kind of like, I don't know, it's a new hobby and it's something you can play. I'm sure for your entire life. There's no age limit on guitar. You can start when you're 5 and play until you're freaking 80 years old. Like there's no rules. When did you first start playing? And what kind of inspired you? Or did anyone in particular inspire you to be like, yeah, this person, I want to make music?
I don't know. I mean, well, I started probably, I think I was in like fourth grade when I
Mm-hmm.
first started playing. I was always pretty like interested in that sort of thing, you know, and to music, and always just kind of, actually in kindergarten, I they had us like draw ourselves in the future and what we wanted to be, and I drew myself as a rock star
Hell yeah.
with like a mohawk and those, you know, those like boots with nails on the bottom and
Yeah.
stuff like that, like
Like
the
Kiss.
whole get up. Yeah, pretty much, exactly. So I was always kind of like infatuated by that, since I was little, and I think it was one of my friends in like fourth grade got a guitar, um, and he like was taking lessons, and he like brought it over one day when we were hanging out, and he showed it to me, and he showed me some like simple songs, and I was pretty much immediately like, yeah, this is awesome. And I was really into like kind of like Green Day and, you know, that kind of music at the time. Started learning those songs.
Hmm.
I didn't play like fully consistently, honestly, from fourth grade to now. There were some periods where I didn't for a little while. Just kind of getting into other things. Like as a kid, I was really into skateboarding for a long time. My first job was actually at a skate park,
Hell yeah.
and that was pretty fun. But yeah, in high school, I kind of lost it up until like junior or senior year, and then like COVID hit, and I really like that's when I started taking it more seriously and really trying using that time to learn more about like theory and technique and all that stuff. Um, so it's definitely been kind of an on and off journey, but ever since then, it's really been like my number one interest. And like you said, it's a great thing to do. Like if I catch myself scrolling on Instagram or TikTok,
Yep.
it's like, okay, I should be playing guitar right now, at least like doing something somewhat like stimulating for my brain.
Yeah, that was like the thing with me is like when I kind of picked it up again, I was like, dude, I waste way too much time on my phone when I could be learning how to play a guitar. I've played both somewhat. Acoustics definitely, I guess you kind of explained this, but for my personal opinion, or maybe it's just a thing, but you have to press down on the strings harder on acoustic than you do electric. That's valid? Like, is that a thing?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, they're kind of just like tougher
Yeah.
usually to fret the strings a little bit.
Yeah, when I was, because I first started playing electric, and I was like, oh, like this doesn't really hurt my fingers. And then I started playing with my dad's acoustic, and I was like, dude, my fingers like they started callousing, and like it was like kind of good because eventually like they got numb, and I couldn't like really feel my fingers anymore. So like when I really need to press down on a certain chord or note or whatever, it just like the pain kind of pain like the pain kind of went away. I was like, all right, this is like a good sign that I've been trying to get better and like actually giving it a chance. Do you even have feeling in your fingers anymore?
Not really at the tips. I mean, I it's not so bad right now. But I remember like being in the band junior and senior year of college, and like having to learn so many different solos and stuff. And I was only playing electric then.
Hmm.
But I mean, my I was learning all these different solos, and I was practicing like all day because, you know, I didn't really have much else going on at
Hmm.
school. And I remember like maybe you can see it, but like this pinky was like flat at the tip from just like, and it was like completely like, I mean, still now you can just kind of scratch them and it's just like a hard surface, but it was like it was flat and it had an indent of like a string,
Yep.
like after any time I finished playing, which is kind of funny. But you know, you earn your callus,
Yeah,
shows that you've
100%.
been practicing, and you know it makes it a lot easier to play when you're not like getting in pain and having to stop. It's just kind of like just feels fluid.
Yeah, so you were the lead guitarist of the Lambda band, and so yeah, like you said, that was my well, for you it was junior senior, but for me it was sophomore junior year. Um, did you like electric and playing in that band? And I know like you guys would sometimes play at other bars. Obviously, Mustache Bash was like the biggest one, and like yeah, talk to me about performing in front of people and if you enjoy it. Obviously, nerves come to a part of that. It's like, okay, wait, I kind of got to be on my game here. I kind of got to make sure I got this solo down. What is that? How much I mean, I guess it kind of depends on the song and solo you're learning, but how much practice goes in like behind the scenes? Because we only see the beauty. We only see the live show, which is the best part. But I feel like it'd be nonstop.
It's a lot of practice for sure. I mean, especially having a deadline, like knowing you have a show coming up, and the nerves definitely help in a way of being like, I can't bomb at this show. Like I gotta practice. Like I
Yeah.
gotta make sure that I'm not getting it right once. Like I have to make sure I can't get it wrong. And so yeah, I mean, obviously we would practice like at the beginning it'd start at like once a week and we get closer to the shows and we do it more frequently. But you practicing together is just kind of making sure that we have the sound right and we're all in time together. But obviously on your own you have to really make sure you're getting the solos down, you got the chords memorized, you're not going to play a wrong chord, or like miss a verse or anything like that. Something that would be to a college show, honestly, most people probably wouldn't even notice,
Right.
but
Yeah.
you'll notice. And there's actually at one of the shows in the backyard free ride thing, I played an entire solo because my mic like that was up against my amp turned and I couldn't hear myself anymore. And I was supposed to play a solo in the key of D or something, and I played the entire thing in like D sharp. And someone sent me a video later, and I listened to it, and I was like, "Oh my god, you guys need to like delete every video of that." No one seemed to notice, but I know Evan noticed, the other guitar player, for people watching that don't know. Um, and yeah, we just kind of laughed about it, but I gotta say, it was honestly like it's the best feeling in the world to me. Like doing those shows, as insignificant as they could seem as just like a college show, it was
Hmm.
literally like a dream come true, especially
Yeah.
Mustache Bash senior year, having like a green room and playing on the stage with the sound guy. Like it literally felt like my childhood was just fulfilled in that moment. And like if that was as far as it ever went, I was happy. Um, but it just kind of gives you that taste of the dream and just makes you want to push even more because you're like, this like I had it right. Like this is what I want. This is what I love. This like feeds me. It's just a great feeling to be up there. And obviously before the show, you're like, ready to piss your pants. You're so nervous and you're
Yeah.
shaking, and first song a little shaky, and then once you kind of get through it you like really get into the groove and the crowd is liking it, and then you just kind of forget it all and you just like you're in a trance, and it's so much fun. It's a great feeling. I can't really beat it.
No, that's so it's funny. I mean, as someone who's been to Mustache Bash and seen you perform live different times, as someone who's never played the guitar, but like watching you take like a 2.5 minute solo, like I get the chills and I get like the energy and the feeling of like, fuck, that's so sick. Like just looking up someone on stage completely like in the flow state and just ripping. Like I don't like you said, there's no better feeling. And like that's as someone who's in the audience and I can't speak for being on stage, and yeah, that would be for me, that's a dream come true. Regardless how big the audience is, it's
Mhm.
you're playing in front of hundreds of people and you're doing something you love. And I think what you said was perfect. You said like you just felt like, yeah, this is it. This is what I want to do. And it kind of doubles down on the fact that like when the self-doubt comes or when like it's like, is this like what I want to do? Remember that feeling is like, yeah, this is like that's the end goal. Um, some people might know you on TikTok as the karaoke king, at least at DU campus. Yellow Lead Better. That was like your siege karaoke song.
Yeah.
Your TikTok bio is what is it? The Pearl Jam guy.
Yeah, Pearl Jam Karaoke Guy.
Pearl Jam Karaoke Guy. How did how did that become to be? And yeah, how did like you just discover you sound exactly like Eddie Vedder when you are at a karaoke bar? I've seen it clips in Nantucket. I've seen it in back at DU. Like it's awesome, and that's how like the way you sing it. Oh, I can't do it, but like you can do it way better than me. But yeah, it's awesome. Where'd that all come from?
I honestly, like, I don't even know. The way it started was like junior year when everybody was abroad in my grade, and a few of us stayed behind, and we would go to Siege on Wednesdays for karaoke night. And I just like, I don't know, I heard this song and like I knew the song, and I just like played it one day. It came on my shuffle, and I was like, this would be a good karaoke song.
Yeah.
And I kind of just sang it that way as like a joke, like as like an Eddie Vedder like joking impression. And then it just kind of became my signature at that point because people thought it was funny and it was entertaining to do. And so then like karaoke kind of, I always liked to sing growing up too, but guitar just seemed like a more like a almost like a beard, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's cooler to play guitar
Yeah.
than like if I sang and I wasn't good or something, that just like felt kind of scary to do, and it's a very vulnerable thing to do. Um, but doing karaoke, there was kind of like it was socially acceptable to be singing there, so I didn't feel as uncomfortable
Hmm.
because it's like, oh, it's karaoke, everyone's doing it. Like you're
Yeah.
not sitting up here trying, like you're just having fun. And then I just kept doing it, and it kind of felt like, like this is I do like doing this, but I kind of was more comfortable keeping it as like a joke. And then this summer, when we were at the Gaslight in Nantucket, I did Black by Pearl Jam, which I hadn't done before. And my sister posted a video of it on her TikTok, and I think now it has like 2 million
Holy
views.
shit.
And yeah, so that happened, and that was like, whoa, this is like, I knew
I'm
like
on to
people thought it
something
was funny
here.
at Siege, but yeah, maybe this is like actually entertaining for people. And so then that kind of, I like, my family wanted me to like sing in front of them, and I had my guitar with me, and they were like, we didn't know that you like sang. We thought you just played guitar. I was like, I mean, not really, but I like to, and I did for them, and they insisted that I start posting some videos on TikTok. So I started doing that, and that's been fun. It kind of just felt like breaking the ice of like once you get that first video out, it's like, all
Yeah.
right, like I did it. Like now I don't care anymore. Like I can just do this and not feel self-conscious about it. Like once the first one's out, it's kind of just smooth sailing from there. So that first video kind of just gave me the confidence that like, oh, maybe I should pursue this more. Um, and yeah, it's been fun. That's why I made my bio the Pearl Jam Karaoke Guy, because a lot of people were coming to my page from her video. So I thought, some brand recognition, some brand value here.
Yeah,
Kind of
100.
what I was going
Maybe
for.
like you think it's fair to say your sister's TikTok video was almost like a blessing in disguise in a way, where like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like, when you were at Siege Karaoke's, like you enjoyed singing, like, oh, it's like kind of a joke and whatnot, but I feel like a part of you was like, this is almost like practice in a way. Maybe not practice, but like
Mhm.
I'm like kind of getting over the nerves of singing in front of people, and then that video goes viral, however millions of views it got, and then it's kind of like, oh shit, like um this is a blessing that this happened. I've wanted to start singing, but I kind of been like about it, and like now it's kind of like they almost like forced you to start singing in a way. Like, do you think that like kind of happened that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely, like, it's not like my life has changed, but it
Mm-hmm.
did kind of change my life in the sense of like it gave me a trajectory that feels more honest to what I want to do with my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like now I'm like actively kind of pursuing music on the side and writing songs more and putting them out there to the world, which I always wanted to do. I actually wanted to sing in the band, but I had to play lead guitar, and you can't really, like, I mean, obviously like some legends can like play lead and sing, but like it's a lot easier to just do rhythm and
Yep.
sing. So I just opted to play guitar, and it was fun. Like Kat was a great singer, and it was a great time. I loved playing guitar, and we were a really like fun bunch. But I wanted to sing in a band, and so I started doing this, and now I have been jamming with Wyatt Nolan and Matt Krause, who was in Lambda. I think he was like 4 years before me, so I didn't overlap with him even, but he plays drums, and so I've been singing and playing rhythm guitar, and we've just had a few practices, but now we've been practicing in the Lambda house because it's the only place that we can really where we have
Yeah.
space, and there's a drum kit there, but they're on break, so can't really practice till January, which stinks. But
Would you prefer being like, if you made it, would you prefer being with a band or kind of solo? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of them have their band anyways, who's like maybe not recognized by name, but like
mm-hmm.
they mostly have a band that tours with them. It's fun being in a band. Like honestly, being in the band junior and senior year was like some of the most fun I've ever had. Like you're just always doing stuff together and you're like kind of figuring stuff out together. I remember like walking around campus with OC and we're like putting flyers all over the place. And it was fun. We all go out together with like the tips we made from our gig. So I don't know. I loved being in a band. I mean, it's probably more fun. I think I'd prefer that, to be
I think a
honest.
band would be more fun. I think the camaraderie of the band, like this is our group,
Yeah.
and especially if like it blows up, it's like we all share the same love for music. We're doing what we love, and we get to
Mhm.
travel and make money. I mean, that's the dream right there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not trying to get into any bands anytime soon, but yeah, I think I don't want to speak for yourself, but yeah, bands would be being in a band would be epic, especially a very, very successful band. On that note, do you have like have you ever performed at a bar, like anything solo? Like, have you thought about that of just being like a cover artist? Because you cover so many different artists on your TikTok and sing so many songs. So, like, have you ever thought about just being like a going to a bar and just solo covering a bunch of different songs?
Definitely. I mean, that's kind of for me feels like the next step is what I want
Hmm.
to start doing just to kind of, get my feet wet. That's why I wanted to be in the band too, because obviously one, it's fun. And I had never really sang in a band before, so I felt like that would be cool to do. But I never really knew like where to begin, like where do I go if I'm just like a guy with an acoustic and I'm singing. But I was for Thanksgiving, I was with my family and there was like some guy doing that at a restaurant we were at. And my family was like, Wes, you should do this. And so they suggested that I make like business cards and just like go around to a bunch of bars and hand them out. I just got some like yesterday.
Yeah,
I
plug
got
them
one
in,
right
plug
here.
it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's sick.
Fully equipped is my
Let's
favorite
go.
part.
That's sweet.
So yeah, I'm probably this weekend just gonna go around to a bunch of different bars, maybe restaurants. I don't know. Just really anywhere that might
You got nothing to
have
lose and
my
everything to
music and
gain.
hand them out. Yeah, right. I got 100 of these things, so
Yeah,
give them to everybody.
yeah. I mean, fuck it. You
If
could
I
even start
get
playing in
two
the
out of 100,
street.
that's good for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
two out of
Start
100 is
busking.
two. Um,
Mhm.
so I have this. It's not a theory, but I have this question for you. So when I drove home from DU, my buddy and I stopped in Nashville. And have you ever been to Nashville?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, all the bars and like how many levels and different solo singers at each bar. And I was talking to him, and a lot of the people we were seeing perform live were very good and like very talented. And it was some covers, it was some of their own music. And a thought came across my mind where I was like, obviously, like Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, all these huge country singer names are worldwide or known for their music and whatnot. But like, I guess my question to you is that like, at what point does it become luck? Because a lot of those people who I was seeing in Nashville, I mean, I don't know if it's. I'm not gonna say they were more talented more than Morgan or any big country artists because they're obviously not on the stage. But like, I feel like at some point it just happens by luck, and there's so much like you can control because like they may have a better voice than Morgan, but here they are performing in Jason Aldean's bar or doing this. So if you kind of get what I'm saying, like, do you think there's like that point where it's almost luck? Like, I don't know. I just thought about that and I
Definitely.
was like,
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. No, for sure. I completely agree. I mean, you'll see some like random band and somebody can be like extremely talented more than somebody who's like a huge star, maybe. And, they're just playing at some small bar where somebody who's still talented, but, maybe doesn't have that skill that this one person has is like a huge star. I feel like there definitely is a lot of luck into it because if you think about how little stars there are compared to how many like truly talented people there are that are trying to make it,
Right.
like only so many can make it through. And I feel like it's definitely a lot of other factors too, like maybe somebody just marketed themselves well, especially in today's like industry. It seems it's like, if you're good at marketing your song and getting your name out there and building an audience, that's something that I feel like, maybe labels or managers look for. And I don't know, and also just kind of like willingness to just kind of do the shit too. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there are a lot of artists. It's kind of my theory with like one hit wonders is like they make this hit song and then you never hear about them again.
Hmm.
And what I feel like is that, they didn't want to subscribe and like what people say, they didn't want to sell their soul in a way. And I feel like maybe there's a little bit of that. And obviously luck and talent and being in the right place in the right time. You're performing at some bar, putting on your best show, and there happens to be a talent scout there. Like, I just feel like there's just so many stars that have to align. And it only works out for very little amount of people.
Yeah, I think there's luck at some point becomes a skill because the more times you do whatever the thing is, the more chances you are increases of being lucky are. Like
Mm-hmm.
it totally is a skill, and a lot of people say, "Oh, well, like he's lucky because he saw that." Yeah, but you didn't see the hundreds of shows he did before that, or you didn't see him posting on TikTok for 2 years getting nothing. Like it seems
Right.
lucky from face value, but like when you take a step back and like actually like understand the person's journey for got to where they are, it's like no, this isn't luck. This is something they've been working at for however long. But yeah, that was just that was interesting. It was like yeah, this just becomes luck at some. I mean, not it just comes down to luck, but like you said, you never know who's watching
Yeah.
in a bar. Like you never know who could just be like, "Yo, this dude's sick." Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Like there's a Casey Neistat quote that I remember from when I was a kid. That's
go to
is it
YouTube.
like yeah, exactly. Luck is when opportunity meets preparation,
Exactly.
which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you exactly. You wouldn't have had that. You wouldn't have been there performing when the talent scout was there if you hadn't done 100 shows. Now, he happened to be there the one out of 100 times. If you had only done 5 shows, probably would have never happened. It's just about kind of grinding and putting in the work.
Yeah, it's how long are you willing to do something without getting attention from it? Because consistency doesn't guarantee success, but
Yeah.
not being consistent definitely guarantees not being successful. And I think that's something we both can take into account and just keep doing. And that, like at least for me, and it seems like it's for you too, but it makes me happier when I'm doing something that I feel like I'm aligned to and that like I actually want to do. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like people succeed more that way too, like if you some people succeed in things that they love because they work so hard because to them it's not work.
yep,
Like the guy who's super jacked in the gym, he's not like that big because he's just super disciplined. It's because he actually loves to work out. He loves the act of doing it. Like somebody who's really good at guitar or singing because they love playing guitar. It's like what they do in their free time. So as a byproduct, they become good at it. And it's like it's hard to you can't really fake success, I feel like, like I studied finance in school, somewhat working in that path, and it's
yep,
like I kind of realized like it felt safer to do this, and I'm still like working of course and just doing music on the side, but it felt safer to pursue this and then just have music be a hobby. But I kind of realized, like I love music, so if that was my job I would work harder at it because I love the work,
hmm,
and then maybe I would be more successful as opposed to doing something that isn't that like interesting to me or doesn't really like kind of stimulate my brain as much. I'm not like spending my free time looking at the stock market.
yeah,
But guys who are super successful, like that's how they are. Like it's genuinely what interests them, and that's why they succeed. So you just have to be kind of true to yourself and do what do what makes you happy, and you'll succeed.
yeah. And I wonder how many people succeed at things right now that they hate doing, and imagine if it was something they actually love doing. This is kind of a totally different gear, but I see a couple of guitars behind you. Do you have a favorite guitar brand or like what like is like do you have mix bag in guitars or same type of acoustics?
Yeah, so I have one acoustic. It's a Martin, which I love. Um, I never played it. Actually, I've played someone's Taylor before. I think those are like a little bit brighter. I don't. It does the trick though. Like I've never really been in the market for another one. But I have two electrics over on the wall as well. I've got a Fender Strat and a Fender Telecaster. I'm kind of a Fender guy just because my first ever guitar was a Fender Strat. And I actually had a Squire Strat, which is like the kids version owned by Fender. That was like 3/4 of the size. That was
Hmm.
my first ever guitar. And then my first like real guitar I got, I think like freshman year of high school, that I still used in college in the band. And then senior year I got kind of my dream guitar was a Telecaster. I just always loved the look and the sound, like the twanginess of them. Um, and so yeah, I got that's kind of my favorite one.
Hell
But
yeah.
I've been doing the acoustic a lot recently, just kind of making covers. It's a little bit easier to use with a mic. Kind of the amp doesn't really pick up into the mic when I'm filming a video on my
Hmm.
phone very well, and I don't really do the whole, like I have stuff to record on my computer and a mic and everything, but I'm not really doing that for like TikTok videos.
Yeah. Yeah. How often, when you like pick a song you want to cover, how often does it kind of, how often will it take you to learn the cover? Like, I know it kind of depends on the song and how challenging the song is, but what is that? How long does that usually take?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them I've already known how to play
Hmm.
for a while, but honestly, most of the ones I've been playing they're pretty simple. Like it's a lot of them are pretty much the same four chords. It's like F, C, G, A minor. Maybe throw like an E minor and a D in there. They're like it's always kind of like they call them like the cowboy chords. Um, and yeah, it doesn't really take much. I have this app that's called like Ultimate Guitar, and it's just like you look up any song, I pay like $30 a year to use it. It's pretty cheap. And it shows you like the chords and where they come on and the lyrics, and then of course you just kind of listen to the song and can figure it out. Usually if it's a simple song, it take me like 5 minutes, maybe less. I'll just kind of pull up the chord sheet and just play along with it.
Hmm.
Um, but if it's like a little bit more complex, I don't know. For a cover, I don't think I've ever spent more than like 20 minutes. I mean, plenty of songs I've spent way more time on,
Yeah.
but when it's a cover and I'm kind of doing it more so for the singing aspect, I kind of just am like, all right, this is too hard. I'm just gonna do
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah. Yeah. In the beginner songs that I've tried to learn, um, it's taken me a while, but that's also because I have little to like no experience with playing guitar. But it's definitely a fun thing, and I'm like eager to learn John Mayer songs, and I mean I love John Mayer. I've listened to him forever. But yeah, dude, some of his songs, and like I've seen some tutorials on like what he's made and whatnot. He's like, yeah, you just gotta, like go to this chord and slap your fingers and do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, dude. I mean, I know I can't even play the easiest song. I can barely play Stairway to Heaven, so like I'm not like saying I should be able to know John Mayer right now. But even one of my other good buddies who's really good at guitar, talks about, he's like, yeah, he's just on a different level. I mean, all these guys who are at the top of the rock and roll and guitar world are just, yeah, they're just different breed when it comes to playing guitar.
Yeah, he's insane. I mean, I think he's like, obviously, there are guitar players that are technically better. Like they have more technical skills, like that dude who's in that band Polyphia that's like math rock, where it's just like it doesn't even really sound good. It's just like really difficult. Like John Mayer is like, he just has such a musical brain and he just makes these really cool songs. Like there's that video when he messes up a note and then he kind of just like adds this little blues lick that adds context to the note where it actually sounds really good. He's just, yeah, he's a different beast.
There's levels. It's just a different game. It's just there's levels.
Yeah.
I've asked, and the one guest I've had so far, I asked them this question, but I plan to ask all my guests this question. Where do you want to be in five? Or where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
Loaded one. I like it. Um, yeah, I mean, ideally, I'd love to be making music and playing shows, maybe touring. Obviously, that's like the dream
Hmm.
would be to be touring, but who knows if that's something I could do in 5 years. But that's, in a perfect world, I would love to be doing that. I've been writing some songs now and starting to explore recording them and maybe releasing something at some point. And that's kind of just the first step. Nobody really does much with their first releases, and I don't have a ton of writing experience either. But just kind of taking it day by day and keep writing stuff that feels authentic to me and see where it goes. Start playing some shows, kind of get my name out there, and as time goes on, hopefully I can somewhat build an audience, and in a perfect world have like an album out by then and be just going around playing shows, even if they're not big shows. I'd be thrilled if I ever played a show that's not in the city I lived in. I'd be like, I made it.
Yeah, of course.
So that'd be a pretty cool feeling.
I mean, it's definitely attainable. It is totally in the cards. I mean, I don't like. I mean, I don't like the idea that like all it takes is one, because if you want to build something that actually lasts, like, you're gonna need more than one video to do well, or at least something to make a career of. It's gonna need more than one video. It's got to be something that people actually like are attached to. But in the one song that you did write, I thought that was very good. How does like when do you like set a time? Like, oh, I'm gonna like write music right now, or is it kind of like you're like driving your car and you're kind of thinking it's like, oh, that would be a good song to write about, or like is it all? I've always kind of wondered how artists write their music. I know a lot of it is based off life experiences and like what's happened in their life and stories and all that. But yeah, where do you kind of start? Like if you're gonna write a song, where do you start?
Yeah, I mean, usually it kind of depends, honestly. It's been different in different times. There have been times when I was in the shower and just kind of thinking about whatever like situation in my life or anything like that, and like a single lyric maybe comes to mind, and I've literally like gotten out of the shower and grabbed my phone to like write it down or make a voice memo. And then like later I'll grab my guitar and I have a melody in my head and I'll kind of like put some chords to it. And then mostly the way that I develop it is just kind of playing through the chords, and I'll just kind of like hum some kind of melody that seems right. And words just kind of come out. I think of like a topic, I usually start with a line that came to me randomly if I'm like driving or like in the shower. And then kind of just building on that, like what message does this line give? How can I put some color around that in a way and really make a message with it?
Yeah, for some reason I feel like I get some of like my best video ideas or even like inspiration in the shower. And I've heard like
Yeah.
it's just like people, I don't know what about the shower or like anything something special about the shower just like gets the inspiration going. Maybe it's like the water falling on your head or like whatever it is. Like it's just like it's not like meditative, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I like always listen to music in the shower too, usually, and recently I stopped because I felt like I'm always filling silence with like music and playing stuff, but I thought maybe I should give myself more time to think, and that'll kind of let the creative stuff come out rather than just listening to a song I already know. Or of course inspiration can come from listening to a new song, but I kind of find myself always listening to the same stuff.
Yeah.
I started kind of challenging myself to listen less and kind of sit in silence and force myself to just think. And then that's usually where things just kind of come out.
Yeah, that's the most important thing for any creative in any world really, is just being able to sit with your own thoughts and just like letting your brain be bored. Nowadays,
Yeah.
it's like no one's bored. It's just constant
Mhm.
scrolling. Like it's bad. You got to be bored. That's when like you get most creative, and that's where you random thoughts come into your mind, and who knows where it comes from. I think being bored is honestly a skill nowadays because of how distracted people are, and myself included.
Yeah.
I end each segment with, or each person I talk to, rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So first one I got for you is, who's your favorite guitarist of all time?
David Gilmour from
Okay,
Pink Floyd.
there you go.
Let's
Dark
go.
Side of the Moon's a goated album. Pink
Oh yeah.
Floyd's, they're sick.
Yeah. I think The Wall by Pink Floyd is like my favorite my favorite work of art, or any my favorite creation that like anyone has made, like any between movies, art, songs, albums, like The Wall is just
Yeah.
it. I've like read books about like breaking down the album. Like it's just it fascinated me. It like changed my whole perspective on life when I like really dove into it. It's
How
so good.
how much would you? I think about this all the time. I wish I could go back to when more rock and roll and like Guns N' Roses, Led Zeppelin, like all these huge bands were popping back in like the 80s, 90s, 70s. Like I would pay so much money to go see Led Zeppelin perform at MSG. If I could go back in time or
Yeah.
go see Pink Floyd perform at Red Rock, like dude, I'd pay 10 grand easily. Like I'd sign it with like how much I'd sign that money so quick. How much would you pay to go see Pink Floyd perform? Go back in
Dude,
time.
I'd give a bag of blood to see Pink Floyd live in their prime. That would be so, with like the pyrotechnics and the light shows. Oh my god, that'd be so cool. Oh, it'd be great.
We
Before
could go
David
on.
Gilmour and Roger Waters hated each other. Oh yeah, sorry, I kind of interrupted the rapid fire.
No, no, no. It's good because I was gonna say. I mean, we could go on. I think about this all the time, but like even like a Motley Crue or like anyone, bro. Like sex,
Sick.
drugs, and rock and roll. Like that era of music was sick.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever watched. I can't. Oh, it was called The Dirt on Netflix. And like that was
Love
like
that
the
movie.
only thing that kind of like put into perspective for me to how crazy these rock bands were, like how crazy their lifestyle was. Of that's why they call it sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like you're show to show, you're drugging yourself
Mhm.
up, you're partying, and you're having tons of sex with all these. Like it's just a crazy time to be that
Yeah.
big of a rock star.
Yeah, those guys were, I don't know how they made it through most of that. I mean, it's crazy to me. Like the way that they survived is beyond me.
Yeah,
But that's a great movie.
yeah.
Really cool to see like how they went through that shit
Yeah,
together.
it's a wild movie. Electric or acoustic?
They electric.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have said. I would have thought you would have said acoustic.
Yeah. Acoustic is, it depends. Acoustic is nice for like you can just sit around and just like play it. So it's a little more like a relaxed thing. It's almost feels like a toy.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's just something about like I used to like, I mean I still do, like it's been a while though when I have felt this way, but if I got like really frustrated about something, like I did bad on a test or something like that, I would be like, I'm gonna go home and just fucking crank my amp and put the distortion up to the max and just like jam out. And it was like a release for me.
Yeah.
Like there's just something about like really rocking out that just feels so great. That's what I loved about being in the band, is playing like rock music and like
Yep.
really just jamming.
For sure. What would be your dream venue to perform?
Um, I feel like Red Rocks would feel so cool, just having gone to school here and living here and going to so many shows there, to like see it from the stage perspective would
Mm-hmm.
just, that would probably feel more than anything like, wow, like I was over there and now I'm here.
Yeah.
That would feel really cool.
That'd be a full the fullest circle moment I think you could
Yeah,
have. Um,
exactly.
are there any rituals or like habits you do or like foods you eat before you perform live? Or any like superstitions of like I got a show tonight, I gotta like have my Cheerios, I gotta have like my purple Gator. Like, is there anything you do before like you would perform with the Lambda Band that like maybe you had a bad show or it's like fuck, I'm never wearing that outfit again? Like, was there any of that?
There wasn't anything like a superstition before or after, but it definitely had some things that I would do before every single show that I can't say on the show, which made it pretty fun.
Yeah, that's valid.
Mhm.
All right. I mean, that's all, pretty much all I got. Yeah, dude, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, man, of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
This is great.
hell
Good
yeah.
conversation. I love talking about this kind of stuff, and feeding off each other kind of, and somebody who's doing the same thing, following a dream. I'm proud of you too, doing this. This is awesome, man.
Yeah, we're both
Great thing you got going.
we're both doing it. It's exciting. It's fun. Who knows?
Damn
Maybe in
right.
5 years from now you'll be opening at Red Rock.
Yeah, and I'll come on to your talk show.
Yeah, we'll look back in 5 years, and that's what I told Chip. It's like, yeah, man, like I'm telling you, this is gonna be history. We're gonna look back in
Yeah.
5 years, and be like, oh shit, yeah, I remember I was on that kid's show. Yeah, it's gonna click, and then it's gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember having that kid on my show. Now he's performing at MSG, but
Mhm.
you gotta start somewhere. But yeah, thanks, Wes. Much
Yeah.
appreciated.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. Thanks for thinking of me and having me on here. This is great.
Hell yeah,
Yeah, love it. Looking forward to seeing what you do with this too. I'll
yeah.
be following.
We all will be following. That's all I got, folks. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Deano Show. I'll see you later. Peace.